Do you think that this man is a god? If you're these villagers, the answer is yes. On the island of Tanna in the country of Vanuatu, a religion called the Prince Phillip movement has sprung up in worship of Prince Phillip of the British royal family. The movement traces its origins back to the 1950s or 60s, whenever experts feel that the local island people saw the great veneration given to Queen Elizabeth. And the islanders came to believe that Prince Phillip, her husband, was the central figure in a local legend. So from what I could glean in my research, this seems to be the basic architecture of the legend. According to the villagers, Phillip is the pale-skinned son of a local ancestral mountain god on the island of Tanna. He emerged from the volcano on the island and rode down the mountain on a horse, jumped into the ocean, and swam across to England searching for a rich and powerful woman to marry. When the prince married Queen Elizabeth in 1947, this would make him fulfilling the basic tenets of this legend. So it's at this point that we should note that within the religious zeitgeist of Tanna, the Prince Phillip movement is not as strange as what it may originally seem to be, because the entire island has this messianic culture of this second coming that just keeps popping up again and again. So this belief that Phillip was the son of a local mountain god grew to several thousand adherents, but its biggest bolstering came in 1974 on a royal goodwill visit to the country. So the royal couple visited the country as part of one of their royal goodwill visits they make to the various Commonwealth countries that used to be part of the British Empire. This is an extremely common thing for the royal family to do. However, on this particular trip, Prince Phillip was received with a little bit more, how I may say, enthusiasm. So while on this royal visit, Prince Phillip did not actually visit Tanna. However, at some point during the trip, he presented one of the representatives from Tanna with a white pig, which apparently to them confirmed the prophecy. And the movement also continued to grow when in 1980, Prince Phillip sent the group an official signed photo, to which the villagers responded by sending him a ritual pig killing club, and in a letter allegedly said, if you are in fact from Tanna, to send us a photo of you holding said club. And in what has got to be one of the strangest photos of a monarch ever taken, Phillip did in fact take a photo with that club. I love this photo for so many reasons. One, Phillip is just like, what do I do with my hands? Two, the villagers are just so happy. Which, I mean, they do believe that this is a photo from literally God, so the adherents of the Prince Phillip movement state that they ask him for help with their crops and to give them sun and rain, and that he does. I also happened to find one interview from the chief of the tribe who at one point stated, "You must tell King Phillip that I am getting old and I want him to come and visit me. If he can't come, perhaps he could send us something, a Land Rover, bags of rice, or a little money." The other big reoccurring belief that keeps coming up is that in some way, either in spirit or in body, Phillip is trying to come back to Tanna and bless the island. This comes up in a very interesting way in this documentary that I found, where the villagers are throwing a birthday party for Prince Phillip, and they are convinced that he is going to be coming to this party. However, Prince Phillip is very old and, not coming to islands where they worship him as a god at that point in time. But just whenever you think things are going to be going bad for the believers, a Scottish teenager who's taking a gap year designates himself as Prince Phillip's representative and comes and says, he's got commitments that he has to attend to, so he won't be able to show up today. And that seems to be good enough, and they dance around. Talk about a vacation story. My God. Literally. So in the beginning, Prince Phillip likely was ignorant of the claims of divinity given to him by this group. But as time has went on, he knows what's going on. He's playing along because he keeps sending them portraits, and in 2007, he actually met with several adherents of the group. Because life is not fair, we do not actually have any footage from that event, but we do know from the villagers that Prince Phillip apparently asked them how things were going on the island, and they took a photo. It was a good meetup, with a god, all things considered. Just imagine the conversation though that happened. So, you think that I'm a god? So the Prince Phillip movement is what is considered to be a cargo cult, which is any time that a misunderstood, unintentional object or person is come to be worshipped by a group of people. And there's many other examples of this, which I definitely have got to do a couple videos on. But what interests me is the question of what would I do in this circumstance? Normal you, right now, if you were to find out that some isolated tribe somewhere across the world thought that you were a literal god, what would you do? Would you try and stop it? Would you just like go along with it? Would you feed into it? I have no idea what I would do, because like I honestly feel like there's nothing that you could do that could change these people's minds. I feel like that wouldn't like inadvertently damage things further. I may just be along for the ride. But let me know what you think in the comments. Regardless of his philosophical quandaries, by the 2020s, Phillip was in poor health, and on August 9th, 2021, he died, along with any dreams of him, at least in his physical form, returning to Tanna. And you can really tell in the reporting at the time, the experts had no idea what was going to happen. Is the group going to continue to worship Phillip? Are they going to self-implode? Is it going to go to the next member in the royal succession? People had no idea. But once the dust settled, the decision was clear. They were following the royal line of succession, and the Prince Phillip movement became the King Charles movement. And you can see here that they are celebrating Prince Charles, but they also still believe that Prince Philip's spirit is trying to come back to Tanna in some way or form. So and while the followers of the Prince Philip / King Charles movement wait in anticipation for his soul / body to return to Tanna, you must click this video.